Welcome to The Explainer. Usually we're here to break down big external ideas. But today, I want to talk about something a little more personal. It's a simple philosophy, really, that has totally changed how I deal with my life, my work, and frankly, all my relationships. I call it structural humility. So it all kicks off with this question that I think we've all struggled with. You know that feeling, right? You're trying your absolute best to help someone. Your intentions are solid gold. You are acting in total good faith, and it just falls apart. Why does that happen? Why isn't just trying to be a good person enough?
For me, pretty much every interaction begins from the same place, a genuine will to help. I really try to listen to figure out what someone actually wants or needs, and then I do my best to provide it. Sounds simple, right? A pretty solid, others-focused way to start things off. But, well, it turns out it's not nearly that simple.
Because the thing is, you slam into a hard reality, like right away. Actually fulfilling any request perfectly 100% of the time, it's pretty much impossible. We've all got limits, right? On our time, our money, our knowledge, our energy, you name it. So the truth of the matter is that sometimes the absolute best I can do is deliver, say, 50% of what was asked for. Maybe it's just 10%. And honestly, a surprising chunk of the time, the request is completely impossible right from the get-go. So the goal can't be perfection. It has to be about doing the best you can with what you've actually got. Okay, and this is where it gets even more complicated. Because let's say you can help, even a little bit, and you communicate that with perfect, crystal clear honesty. Your message still has to travel from your brain to theirs. And that journey, well, it's like walking through a communication minefield. And that's when it kind of clicked for me. I realized there are basically 4 ways any message can totally fail. The first one is that I lie. And that's it. That's the only one I'm fully in control of. The other 3, they're completely out of my hands. There's distortion, where my words get twisted. There's misunderstanding, where they just don't have the context to get it. And then there's denial, where they just flat out refuse to accept the truth, even when it's staring them in the face. That right there, that was the turning point. I realized these weren't just my personal failings. The problem wasn't me. The problem is structural. It's baked right into the system of how we communicate and how reality even works. I mean, think about it. An idea inside your own head feels perfect, right? It's so clear, it feels objective. But the second you try to put it into words, spoken or written, it's not the original anymore. It's a copy. It's been filtered through language, through interpretation. It's no longer pure. It's now subjective. And listen, this isn't just some human weakness. Even our most powerful AIs, the large language models that are changing everything, they can't be truly objective either. They are structurally limited by the data they were trained on and the way they were designed. They have built-in limits, just like we do. This all leads to a really powerful concept. Any decision that I make or you make is just what you'd call a local optima. And what that means is simply this. It's the best possible choice you can make right here, right now, with the limited info and resources you actually have available. So I have to accept the very real possibility, in fact, the probability, that the single, perfect, best solution for everything, the global optima, is something I can never, ever know. I don't have a God's eye view of the universe. I just have my own little corner. And to pretend I know more than that, well, that would just be arrogant. So what do? This really leaves only one logical way to move forward. Step 1, act. Find the best solution you possibly can with the data you've got. And then, step 2, update. Be totally ready to change or even scrap that solution the second new information comes in. It's this constant loop, act and adapt, act and adapt. Okay, so you can see how all of this builds up, right? It starts with a simple observation about helping people and grows into a full-blown strategy for action. And this is so important. This isn't about being passive or wishy-washy. It is an active strategy for dealing with a messy, complicated world. And this is what I call structural humility. It's a humility that isn't born from your personality type, but from a really clear-eyed, logical understanding of the limits that are just built into reality.
It's a strategic choice to act in a way that respects those limits.
This might be the most important point of all. Structural humility is a conscious strategy, a system for making better decisions. It has absolutely nothing to do with being shy or modest or timid. In fact, you could say it's the opposite. It's a type of confidence that's actually grounded in reality.
So when I seem cautious or when I refuse to say something is 100% certain, it's not coming from a place of insecurity. It's because I've looked at this situation and I've concluded there is no logical, no structural basis for being absolutely certain. My confidence is in my process, not in some fragile belief that I can be perfect. So where does all this lead? If I had to boil this entire way of thinking down into just one single guiding principle, just one rule to live by, it would be this. And there it is. That's the sentence I try to live by. It completely replaces that need for perfection, which can paralyze you, with the simple power of repetition. You just do the thing, you learn from it, and then you do it again. Hopefully, a little bit better this time. So I'll just leave you with one final question to think about for yourself. In your own life, in your work, in whatever you're chasing, is your pursuit of perfect actually the enemy of you just doing what's best? Thanks for joining me for this explainer.